Happy holidays, guys. Bryan Lebo here with your December update video. This time of year is always pretty slow, so we don't have too much to cover today. But first up, let's chat about sales. Last month, we sold 102 homes compared to 133 in October. More importantly, last November, we sold 126 homes. This means that sales last month were down 19%. But here's the really strange part. In the rest of the Vegas Valley, monthly sales declined every single month after August. This happens virtually every single year. While this tends to occur in Summerlin as well, the past 2 year sales have been steady for October, November, and has actually gone up in December. So the fact that we actually decreased 23% from October to November is actually really surprising. Next month, we should sell about 144 homes based on previous year's trends. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this month's sales numbers actually turn out to be. Okay, let's check out our inventory levels now. As you can see on the screen, currently we have about 464 homes on the market, compared to 486 last month. This means our Summerlin inventory went down 5% in only 1 month. Now, in comparison, the rest of the valley only went down 1.4%. Quite frankly, this is great. Considering our demand dropped so drastically, having our inventory decrease as well helps to keep our values from dropping. Now, on the same hand, I think the reason for the decrease in inventory is due to sellers finally realizing that they'll never get the absurd prices that they were expecting. I've had to turn down so many sellers in the past couple of months because their expectations were simply unrealistic. Now that the market has flattened out, I'm seeing less and less overpriced homes, more price reductions, and overall more realistic sellers who understand that they can't overprice their home and hope for a foolish cash buyer anymore. Again, these are all great developments. Now let's break down our inventory. 7% are short sales, 3% are foreclosures, and 90% are traditional sales. Now, compared to the rest of the valley, we've got about half the percentage of short sales and foreclosures, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, really quick, let's cut to my December Las Vegas update video where I explain some of the recent lending changes that are about to occur. Going into this year, we had a bunch of negative lending changes that really made it more difficult for buyers to obtain loans. Now, this included stricter guidelines and lower FHA limits. Well, it looks as though next year should introduce many new types of loans to lure back buyers. See, the lending industry is slowing down since refinances aren't as popular as they've been. If nothing changes, then potentially the lending industry will only do about 2/3 of the business next year that they did this year. This year, the mortgage industry is set to lend about $1.4 trillion. If nothing is done, then next year will only be $900 billion. So to counter this decline, next year looks like the year of subprime mortgages again. According to lenders, there's potentially $600 billion in subprime lending to be had out there. I've spoken to several lenders that now have loan programs for buyers who literally are 1 day out of a short sale or a foreclosure. Also, we're seeing stated income loan programs again. Some lenders have already been doing 10% down jumbo loans. So the good news is that although our demand has obviously declined, this next year will potentially open doors to buyers that fundamentally don't exist today, since they couldn't acquire financing. Okay, now let's wrap up what we learned and make some sense out of this market. Sales were down 19% from last year and is really underperforming. Our inventory dropped 5%, which actually eased the pain of a softening demand, and we still have half the distressed sales compared to the rest of Vegas. We've got some great lending programs on the horizon, which should hopefully spur more demand. So where do we go from here? Well, if you're a seller, I don't think you're likely to see an increase in home values anytime soon. In fact, while prices should remain flat, Many of the newer Summerlin neighborhoods are in trouble right now, since their prices were well above comparable homes in the general vicinity. So if you're looking to sell in the next couple of years, it might actually behoove you to reach out to a realtor and just find out how the homes are selling in your subdivision, since you may lose out by waiting. Okay, buyers are taking their sweet time now. So when they're looking and writing offers, they're relaxing. So the marketing of your property is more important than ever before. You have to price it right and make sure your agent is properly marketing your home to generate maximum exposure. Now, if you're a buyer, as I've said for months, time is vastly on your side. New home sales are getting crushed right now. Each month seems to bring more and more price reductions and/or incentives. It's not surprising now to see builders offering free upgrades, paid closing costs, and even tease the rate on the buyer's mortgage down. On the same hand, many of these new homes make absolutely no sense at all. Make sure you're working with a knowledgeable agent who can educate you on the home values outside of that new home community, so you don't wind up overpaying for the privilege of living in a new home. Sellers and their respective agents are getting more realistic now. So unless the home that you're looking at has multiple offers, you can likely negotiate on price and even have them pay your closing costs. Well, that's it for this month. Thank you again for watching. Please click here to subscribe and have a wonderful holiday season, everyone.